Oh shit, we got another giveaway for you guys. This time, our newest sponsor, SpicesPros.com, has provided us with not just one, but two copies of Madden 18. So here is how you enter. First, make sure to subscribe to the channel at crossbonesmma.com. Make sure to like this video and leave a comment in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to share this video with your friends, that way they can get on the action as well. Now on August 25th, we will announce the two winners of the giveaway on a special live edition of Keyboard Warriors, where we're going to break down and talk about and go through all the storylines of Mayweather versus McGregor the night before the fight. If you're one of the winners, we will contact you on Twitter through DM, so make sure in that comment section you leave your Twitter handle just in case you're one of the winners. A huge thank you to our listeners, our viewers, our followers, and our friends, and thank you so very much for supporting crossbonesmma.com. I'm gonna set this up and then I'm just gonna let it roll because you guys are gonna enjoy what the fuck's about to go down, because it's gonna get people getting called out. Fred Kirby's heated. We're about to see some shit. Late last night, afternoonish for the people on the West Coast, basically came out. Jon Jones was flagged for a potential violation for the USADA, the anti-doping policy. So TMZ came out saying it was a steroid. Not too many official details been getting out yet. Everyone's waiting for the process to work itself out, but that didn't stop everybody from talking about it, right? And of course, Fred is a Jon Jones fan. It's no secret. Past shows, I picked DC over Jon Jones, and Kirby called me crazy for doing it. So now it's you're in a weird spot there, Fred. What do you think?
Hey! No, fuck you. I'm not in a weird spot. Jon Jones is in a weird spot. God damn it! I didn't do nothing. Jon Jones let the fucking most of us do. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Let me address this before I go immediately to fucking throwing Jon Jones and every other cheating cocksucker in the last fucking 5 years in our sport under the bus. Let's address the fact that they're trying to deny this, and let's just address what they're saying here. First off, you got fucking Malky Kawa, or whatever the fuck his name is. Obviously he's denying it. And I've heard shit that they're saying that it could be a tainted supplement. Now, so let me give a little backstory here. What they're saying is that about 2 weeks before the fight, Jon Jones took two tests and passed both those tests. Now they're saying that the test that he actually tested positive for, he took the day before the fight or the day after the fight?
Weigh-ins.
Okay, weigh-ins. The day before the fight, he takes this test and fails it. So their line of logic is, why the fuck would he do that? Why would he pass one 2 weeks out and then fail the test, right there? Now, listen, I'll give you this. That is fucking stupid. But here's the fucking reality. It's a fact. Unless USADA's just making shit up. Unless he didn't test positive for fucking nothing and they clearly just fucking made some shit up, which I highly fucking doubt. You know what I'm saying? So, and he's had this shit happen to him before. So here's the deal, right? People can say that it was a tainted supplement. Let me ask you guys a question, right? There have been some questionable calls with USADA, no doubt about it. Lyoto Machida was one of the more questionable calls, right? Let me ask you a fucking question. Lyoto should be back soon too, right? I think they just booked him a fight. Do you think that in a million years, Lyoto will ever, let's just say for the sake of argument that Lyoto was right and it was a tainted supplement and it was a mistake, do you think he'll ever let it happen again? With the money and the nutritionalist. I don't understand that. There's no fucking way that Jon Jones got burnt with dick pills once and he's got all this money, biggest fight of his life, and he somehow takes a fucking multivitamin that happens to have a fucking rare steroid in it. Get the fuck out of here. And it pains me to say that because I love Jon Jones, man. I thought he was our fucking Ali. I thought he was the GOAT. That's why this one stings much more than all the other ones, man. Almost any other test has not really hurt like this one. Because this was our guy, man. This was the Ali. This was the fucking living GOAT. If this guy's full of shit, then what the fuck? What are we watching this for, man? You know what I'm saying? If I DM'd you earlier, Eddie. If I wanted to watch fucking wrestling and I wanted to see a bunch of fucking juice monkeys where it's predetermined and not fucking fair, I'd watch that. This shit is supposed to be honorable and respectful. If Jon Jones is cheating, what the fuck, man? And then,
right.
Yeah, I heard his fucking buddy came out and said, I don't know what this is, man. Somebody's trying to ruin this kid's life. Are you fucking high? Yeah, USADA is purposely trying to ruin. Why the fuck would they do that? What the fuck would USADA gain by lying on Jon Jones and flat just fabricating a lie saying that he tested positive for something when he didn't? Are you guys fucking crazy? Listen, I love Jon Jones too. I don't want it to be true, but I highly doubt that the whole fucking system is just out to railroad Jon Jones. I don't fucking see the reason for that.
No, and I hear you on that shit. That's what makes it. The whole thing's fucking weird. All the circumstances around it are weird. Why would you take it at at weigh-ins? Why exactly? I mean, you don't fucking need it. You could beat DC. Everyone agrees you could beat DC without it. So Tony, when you heard about this whole thing, Jon Jones tested positive. Me personally, I laughed because I was like, "Fucking, of course it's gonna happen. It's the world of MMA. Of course it's gonna happen. The week of Mayweather McGregor. Of course it has to, right?" What were your thoughts when you heard about it?
Well, like I thought the whole thing was kind of weird. TMZ is kind of to at least some kind of pipeline there, and so the fact that it leaked on Mayweather McGregor week might not be a coincidence. There's also, their initial reports had quite a bit of detail in it, some of which didn't get confirmed, like the part about Jon Jones getting stripped and then DC being automatically handed back the title. That doesn't seem to be the case, at least not yet. And I don't think there's a precedent for that. I might be wrong, but me and my other writer were trying to find a precedent for that and just couldn't find anything on, if a guy failed a test that the belt went automatically back to the guy that he lost it. But I guess DC was, the champ technically before the fight, so possibly Dana and the UFC can do whatever the fuck. That'll be interesting to follow. And then, like the substance you guys getting popped for masking agents and like diuretics and like honestly stuff that I just don't give a shit about. Like I don't care for diuretics and other like small like little things but Turinabol or T-Bol or whatever you want, nickname it has, that's like hardcore anabolic steroid. So the fact that he, popped for that was what jumped out to me when I initially heard this. It was like the first thing I was like, damn, like he really fucked up big time now. And so we'll see. I'm interested to see the fallout, with DC and everything. I don't know if it takes away his GOAT status. I mean, I guess it does you kind of get labeled to cheat, now. And that's just what you are. It's like Barry Bonds territory.
Yeah, just a massive asterisk and everything.
Does to me. GOAT my fucking asshole. He's no longer the GOAT. I'm giving his fucking plaque to DC. Cocksucker got caught cheating twice.
That's fair.
Twice.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, I it pains me to say that more than anybody, but it's just fucking true. You can't let that slide. And like you said, this was a nasty fucking steroid. I mean, quite frankly, I think it all fucking counts. You know what I don't count? Cocaine. God, when I heard it, I was praying it was coke. I swear to God I was.
Yeah.
I'm like, please just let it be weed and coke. We all know he likes to party, please. And then when I heard it was a steroid, I was fucking devastated. When Nick Diaz tests positive for marijuana, I don't give two rat farts about that shit. Does not matter at all. But if you're fucking pounding diuretics so that you can make 55 when you're a goddamn animal, this shit matters, man. You're a fucking cheater. You're Barry Bonds in it.
Yeah, and of course, Jesse, the whole thing with steroids, man, and Jon Jones, man, for the way he came off after the fight at 214, he came off, I mean, he did the perfect, like, PR move, right? What he said was perfect, on point. People were loving him again for it, for giving DC respect and all that. He said all the right things for the most part. And now this. So what is your view here of Jon Jones now, like today?
I guess I have to go back to Jon Jones when he was suspended. Who's Jon Jones? I mean, he's now a null and void person in MMA, and I just think that fight is now erased, in my opinion. I mean, it's unfortunate, right? Because you got to think this, as you guys were talking about, the circumstances are weird. But I mean, it's kind of hard to disprove something when it's there. Like the proof is there. He's gonna get the B sample tested. I mean, how often has it happened where the B sample is like, oh no, we made a mistake? Very rarely. So I mean, at this point, the only thing we can look at is that Jon Jones is looking at a 4-year suspension probably for popping the second time, and that's it. I mean, goodbye.
Yeah. Okay, Jesse. On that point, do you think his career is over?
No, but I think the UFC should handle this in the way that they handled Frank Mir. You hold on to him. You can't let him go. And then eventually, once his suspension is about to be out, then you start making the deal of whether you want to stick around and ride this out or do something else. But basically, you can't allow this guy to leave. I mean, I know a lot of people were saying cut him, let him go, but there's too many organizations out there that are willing to put up the money and just say, hey, we just won't fight in the U.S. ever again. You know, you're going to be a pariah for the rest of your life. You know, I'm sure Rizin, you know, as soon as this news broke, they were like, you know, they probably slid right up into Jon Jones' DMs or his manager's DMs and like, hey, you know, get out of that contract and we'll see you in Rizin. We'll hit a Brock Lesnar too. But, you know, I just think we should just, you know, let the process play out. But as of right now, he doesn't exist in the sport right now.
Fuck that. If it comes out and he tests positive and this all happens to be 100% true and he fucking got caught cheating again, I say they cut Jon Jones. The UFC, and this brings me around to a bigger point with steroids in general. That's why I got this cocksucking list sitting next to me, man. Because MMA fans in general, it seems like we don't give a fuck about steroids. Look how hype we all was for fucking Lesnar versus fucking Jones before Jones tested positive. Lesnar's coming off of testing positive. Most people are going to say, he's coming off a win over Mark Hunt. Well, no, he's not. He cheated. What the fuck are we talking about? MMA.
Give me that list. Give me that, Brad. Come on.
All right. Look, yeah, okay, so listen. And it pains me to say this because there's a lot of fucking names on this list. And this is just to give some gravity to the situation, man. And there's probably a lot more names. This is just a fucking 10-minute Google search I did earlier. Listen to this shit. These are all guys that have tested positive for some sort of diuretic or fucking steroid, no coke, no street drugs. These are all performance-enhancing drug fucking cheating cocksuckers. Sean Shirk, Alistair Overeem, Chris Liebman, Hoist Gracie, Vanderlei Silva, Chael Sonnen, Anderson Silva, Ben Rothwell, Chad Mendez, Vitor Belfort, Josh Barnett, Hermes Franca, Thiago Silva, Stefan Bonner, Thiago Alves, Mirko Krokop, Brian Ortega, Chris Cyborg, Husmer Paul Harris, Dennis Seaver, Kung Lee, Donald Cerrone. Yeah, that's right. It was a long fucking time ago, but before his first fight in the WEC, Mr. Cowboy got popped with fucking diuretics. And y'all can kiss my ass. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Suck it. And most fucking notably, Brock Lesnar, Jon Jones, and not most recently, JDS, and most recently, Jon Jones. Now, JDS might come out, might not. But like Jesse said, how many people really end up clearing their name of this shit? Most people call it bullshit, and they end up serving their fucking time. Frank Mir still never admitted to it. He still fucking took the penalty and dipped off the Bellator. That is a plethora of names in our sport, and they all fucking cheated, man. Straight up and down cheated. And we all just... Listen, I did it too. John got caught with the fucking dick pills last time, and I gave him a pass. I acted like that shit never happened coming into the rematch with DC. Maybe it was dick pills. Maybe he is 28 and the alpha male of fucking planet Earth, and maybe his dick don't work. I'm like that fucking wife that's getting cheated on, and I'm like, maybe he is just at the job late. Bullshit. He's a cheating cocksucker, and we knew it. And it comes out again, and we're all, nah, man, it's true. It's fucking sad, but it's true, man. I mean, like I said, we'll see. Maybe the B sample comes back and it's negative and this was all a big misunderstanding, in which case I take back all my words and I'm so fucking sorry. But I highly doubt that's the case. I highly doubt it.
Go ahead.
Don't even do that, Fred. Don't do that. Like, this is the honest like anger that most of us as fans have, right? Like it's anger. It's not even like we feel bad for Jon Jones or any of these people that pop. It's anger because we put down our money. We put down like, you know, we're fans of these people. We follow these people. And like, you know, a lot of us, you know, I don't know about you, Fred, but I have kids. And, you know, when I see somebody that's a good role model, I want my kids to follow these people. But then you find out that these guys are just cheating their way through what they're doing. Like, how do you like tell your kids, hey, look up to this person, look up to that person? Then you start realizing you can't do that, because what Eddie turned me on to was a documentary called Icarus. Now, if you go watch that, holy crap, like a low-level bike guy in his like 40s, basically, can become like an ultra like mega athlete just like out of nowhere, like easily. Like, what does that say for these athletes that have money, that have contacts, that just have a random, you know, Brazilian guy that likes to travel over to Brazil or Mexico every once in a while and bring them back some stuff? Like,
why you got to be Brazilian?
A lot of those names on your list were Brazilian.
Fucking true.
Yeah. I think my favorite one of that whole list is the Sean Shirk Hermes Franca, because they both popped in the same. They fought each other, right? Shirk won, and they both popped afterwards for steroids. Both of them. I love shit like that because it's hilarious. Overeem tested positive for UFC 146. That fight against JDS was canceled. Chad Mendez, I love his excuse was skin cream that he used for plaque psoriasis, supposedly, which is a skin condition, right?
It's the equivalent of the dog ate my homework.
Pretty much. I mean, Hoist Gracie, the one that sucked the most, in my opinion, other than the Jon Jones one, was the Hoist Gracie one. That one happened in K1, but it was after I think it was after the fight against Sakuraba, which he got the decision for. Awful decision, I think, but he got the decision for, I'm pretty sure, and he tested positive for nandrolone, and then he wanted to tell him like, oh, I'm 40 years old, I didn't gain 20 pounds. Like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? And then, you know, I forgot that Lieben fought Michael Bisping, and he popped for stanozolol, whatever, with steroid too. After that, fucking Michael Bisping fighting all the cheaters. Barnett failed 4 times in his career. I mean, the list goes on and on, dude. Right?
Yeah, Barnett failed. He was like one of the first guys to fail a test in the UFC or some shit. I don't even remember.
He's like a record breaker for failing.
Yeah, 4 times. Yeah, he's the OG cheater. 4 times that motherfucker popped. Like, how many times you gotta be like told like, hey, you can't fucking do this shit?
So, but listen, hold on.
I guess you didn't get it last time, but you really can't do this shit. You did that 4 times.
But hold on though. This is my point about MMA fans and steroids and PEDs. The next time Josh Barnett fights, how many of us will even mention that? How many people will care? How many people will hold it against him?
I think it's gonna be a while before he even fights, so we might forget by that time, dude.
Well, like, that's the thing is, like, these guys, there's so many options now. Like, if Jon Jones does get cut by the UFC, how long do you think he like stays on the open market with these promotions that only operate, you know, outside? You have One, you have Risen, you have ACB. I mean, these guys all barely ever, if ever, come to the United States, so they could snatch them up and fucking, you know, they don't give a shit, basically.
I'll tell you what, ACB is gonna be in the front of that line for sure. I'd be number 1. It'll be ACB and Risen. I'm gonna go neck and neck. I think one's not gonna. I mean, one's gonna try. I don't think he'll go there.
Nah, Bellator, man. Bellator, because they have the Indian reservations that they like to go to. They'll cook people on those Indian reservations all day.
Are we all smoking meth? What are we talking about? This is the goddamn GOAT. He ain't fighting on Indian reservations. I say we take him and have him killed. We can't let him go sully our good sport like this. Jon Jones can't be fighting on goddamn Indian reservations. It's a fucking travesty.
God damn, dude.
But that's what people like. This is what people don't think about when they're like, they get so angry. Fans get so angry. I mean, I feel bad for @Jon Jones on Twitter right now, because he's like, his Twitter is just blowing up. He's not even the real Jon Jones. I don't know if you guys have been following that guy, but that guy's awesome. He's been responding to all those people.
He had a great tweet about it.
Yeah, no. What are you saying, Dizzy?
I said, shout out to that guy. That guy's awesome, man.
Shit, man. All right, so no one's talking about DC in this, or at least they're minimally talking about DC, obviously, right? Dude's on vacation, he's in Hawaii, gets the news. Even he's confused as fuck. But even DC's like, let the process go on and see what happens, right? But if you're DC, Fred, how you feeling right now?
As soon as I got off the phone, I'd tell my old lady to take her panties off. It's time to goddamn it have some fun. Daddy's back, Jack. What the fuck? If I'm DC, I'm the happiest guy on planet Earth. I'm not bad. He ain't better than me. He was a cheater. I'm completely validated again. I'm fucking, goddamn it. I turn on fucking goddamn AC/DC, Back in Black. I'm fucking back. The fuck? If I'm DC, I seen so many people like, oh, DC's probably so confused and he's so distraught. Confused and distraught about what? He's probably happy as shit. Now he's kind of, in his mind, it's probably hard to deal with the fact that Jon Jones was a better man than him. That's a lot to deal with. Now he's like, yo, he wasn't better. I knew he felt strong. I knew he was fucking quick. What the fuck did he hit me with, a baseball bat? Oh, true. He's taking a steroid that makes your fucking bones more dense.
Yeah, no, the whole thing's super fucked. But look, and now the Tony was saying there's no precedent for this, right? There's no precedent for, if the challenger beats the champion, tests positive, and gets stripped, if the belt automatically goes back to the champion. You cool with him getting the belt back though, right, Fred?
Yeah, fuck it. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, he'll have to fight, presumably Gus or Odesmir. Something will happen. So, I mean, if they let Daniel hold it until he, defends it against who's next, it doesn't really matter. Like, say they line up the rematch with DC and Gus, which I would say makes the most sense. They're gonna, quote unquote, fight for the vacant belt anyways. If they want to give it to DC until then, I wouldn't have no problem with that. I mean, fuck, like homeboy said, he was the champ before, and dude got caught cheating, so that kind of reverses the decision in the fight, in which things go back to the natural way they was before. I would assume.
No, definitely. Now, they get a bunch of comments on the chat here. So, 5 Book MMA says UFC circus is just that, a circus. I'd rather watch local events, Bellator and other promotions. You hear more failed USADA tests in the UFC than any other promotion. It's absolutely true. Like, you never hear about Bellator, anyone in Bellator testing positive, right? I mean, Tony, you cover that way more. Have you ever heard of that?
Because they don't test. Tony.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. The testing that USADA does is a little bit more stringent than the state commission ones that Bellator is using. So that's it. Yeah. And then the other thing is that there has been there was Shlemenko tested positive. Mm-hmm. We've had a couple. They're not completely clean. Nobody's completely clean. So.
Yeah,
the fact that you can make that statement though sucks.
Yeah,
and you're right. Like that.
Here's
honestly,
the thing, though.
Go ahead, Jesse.
No, here's the thing, though. Those guys in Bellator that failed those drug tests, those are the morons, because they're only getting tested day of. They're having to pass the IQ test, the test that we used to have in the UFC. And think about it, though, because I looked it up. Jon Jones actually is the most tested athlete this year. He's been tested 8 times this year. 8 times. And he failed 1 test. There's a lot of other people that, aren't getting tested as much as some of these other athletes. So we also have to take into consideration, like, all the little details of what's going on. But Bellator over there, they're doing the test that we used to have before the UFC, where it was, day of, just the main event guys, basically that kind of thing, because these commissions can't afford to pay for all these tests, and it's like the guys that still pop there, those are just dummies at this point.
Okay, so listen, I'm gonna go ahead and throw out an idea here, because it's getting ridiculous. So it gets to a point where it's like, what are we gonna do about this, right? What are we gonna do now? Obviously, you're like, okay, we can't let Jon Jones go because Bellator will grab him. That's not good. Blah blah blah. Well, I tell you what, I've had enough with this shit. I tell you what I think we should do. I don't give a fuck who Bellator gets. And I tell you what, I'm going to be a nice guy. 2 strikes. This ain't baseball. Go fuck yourself, baseball. 2 strikes. You get 1 time to take a bad vitamin, some dick pills, whatever. You get your one. If you fucking get caught cheating twice, you better like Bellator, because that's where you're going. Because in the UFC, we got the best fighters in the world that don't fucking cheat. And that's why you should tune into our product. If you want to, go to fucking, Bellaroids. That's what DW is good at giving people tag names. Start sending them the Bellaroids. You can have Jon Jones. He's a cheater. Take Frank Mir. He's a cheater. You get caught cheating here, we'll send you to Bellator. Go over there and cheat. And try to give them a bad stigma with that shit. Yeah, they pick up all our guys once when they get caught cheating. You get caught cheating here, we send you the fuck out. It's ridiculous, man. I mean, this was it. This was the top of the mountain, dog. Jon Jones coming out as a fraud. Something's got to give, man. It literally almost makes me not want to watch the sport no more. I mean, this was our guy, man. This was the dude that did the things that nobody else could do. And as far as people like that go, Anderson Silva was that guy too.
He was.
Come to find out. Oh, son of a bitch. He got caught taking the weird dick pills too. I'll be a son of a bitch. Ain't that about a motherfucker? I know, boys. It hurts. Hurts my fucking dick too, man. But goddamn, you got to call a spade a spade. And that fucking sucks. Then when we find somebody, it's like, yo, this dude is like magic. No, he's not magic. He's a fucking cheating wizard.
Oh, Jesus Christ. The fucking Jesse's out there in truck stations. No, it's all good, dude. Priya Rose says, LOL, I'm suddenly finding Fred and his man bun sexy. Yes, giving DC love. God damn, dude. Hey, he does it on Instagram and on fucking YouTube. Where can't you go? Motherfucker, like. Anyway. Gary Custom says, why didn't he just wait till he was 100% clean? Nunes had a runny nose and they gave her months to recover. I mean, that'd be pulling out of the fight, though. That'd be him pulling out of the fight.
Well, yeah. I don't know. The whole idea of him testing positive so close. Listen, they make a good point. That is a very stupid thing. I don't know why he would do that or what the deal with that is. But listen, DC makes a good point. This is also a guy who was fucking snorting blow 2 weeks out from the biggest fight in his life. Now, don't get me wrong. On one hand, that's pretty gangster. On the other hand, it's stupid as.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Here they're talking about the list. Rose says, notice no DC or DJ on the list. My favorites are better than everyone. And then she said, damn, I was becoming a Jones fan too. I was ready to see him wreck Brock. And Uncle Hank's Pappy says the same thing. He says, I want to see Brock get clowned on too. That's a fight that's out. It's gone, right? It's done. Now, what was it? So WWE had a pay-per-view on I think on Sunday, and Brock Lesnar won his title back, or however that worked out. And I immediately tweet out, like, can we get rid of that theory that because he's gonna drop the belt in WWE, he's gonna go back to UFC. And people were giving me shit like, wait till Monday Night Raw. We don't have to now. Fuck that shit. That shit's out the window. Jon Jones ain't fighting Brock Lesnar. Not unless something extraordinary happens and USADA admits full fault and said the test was, a false positive or something. But
man, who even cares though? Bruh, Brock, you're not a good fighter.
Nah.
You're just a big human being. Come to find out, you cheated to get there. So go fuck yourself. We don't want you back, man. You ain't got talent. You can't box. You can't kick. You just drag guys down, get on top of them, and then you can't even really throw a good punch while you're on top of somebody. Well, goddamn. Let me start fucking roiding out my mind. I could probably do that to people too. Fuck a Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, right.
Cocksucker.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar also on that. We got a lot more comments real quick. This guy says, without Fred Kirby, the show does 9 views. Well, thanks for the view. Whoa. Appreciate it, dog. Thanks for the view, dog. Yeah, you're the man. Keep watching our shit. Appreciate it. Uncle Hank's Pappy says, and then Uncle Hank's Pappy goes, so we're at 10 views now. Fred with the spinning shit.
That's cute, Uncle Pappy.
Yeah, that's good shit. All right. And then Raider JAP. Oh yeah, I actually just started following her on Twitter. What's up? She says Jones is gonna be at Saboba Casino, and then LOL Red Panty Night. Yeah, this whole thing is all fucked up. And then she says fuck Brock, and then Fight Book MMA with Jones vs Brock at WWE WrestleMania.
They fucking better not. I'm calling ISIS.
No shit.
That's why I said it. I don't give a shit.
Next, though.
What'd you say, Tony? Tony, what'd you say?
Oh, I would say that, if you're thinking about what the next step is, it's that as far as percentages goes, I would give that, the highest likelihood of the next thing to happen, Jones versus Brock at WWE.
For real.
Hey, if he gets suspended for 4 years, right, so let's talk about that. Yeah. So the second positive, right? Second, whatever, failed drug test. Now he's going to be up to. I think that it's a 2 to 4 year ban or
Could get
suspension.
away with
It could be. You're right. 2 to 4, right?
2 to 4. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now here's my question. We start here with Tony, and then we'll work our way back to Fred. I think it's totally possible that someone in that California State Athletic Commission meeting mutters the words lifetime ban. All right, and Raider here on YouTube says, yeah, ban is S for life, and an asterisk on his record. I think someone's going to mutter that. I think someone's going to say, lifetime ban. What do you think?
Dude, the CSAC, they are known for being like super fucking tough on steroids. They're doing all kinds of like, revolutionary stuff with weight cutting. They put an asterisk next to Josh Thompson's loss earlier this year in Bellator, which is like the first time that's ever happened. So yeah, they could do some interesting stuff here. Put asterisks next to Jones's wins. They could ban him for life. I think that's banning him for 4 years is almost like banning him for life, dude. Like, yeah, I mean, especially if UFC keeps him under contract and then he's not able to go anywhere else. I mean, what the fuck is he gonna do? He's gonna sit around for 4 years and do like jujitsu like Polaris or something, or I don't. He's allowed to do that. But I mean, 4 years is a fucking long time to just be sitting on the shelf. And I mean. It's him putting asterisks. That'd be interesting to see asterisks next to his wins and stuff like that.
Yeah, and the asterisk it's weird, but again, it's just like you said earlier. We're going back to Barry Bonds territory with that shit. Even though that guy never tested positive, by the way, right? Am I right on that?
I don't.
That guy. He failed the eye test. He failed the eye and common sense. Don't get me wrong, that's for sure. But he didn't actually fail a test, so I always find that kind of weird with sports. But Jesse, what do you think about that, man? The possibility that someone says lifetime ban.
Yeah, I agree with Tony. I think here in California, we don't play around with that stuff. I think wasn't Tony? Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't California the one that tried to levy like a lifetime ban on what was it, Shlemenko, one of the Bellator guys, because they tested and then they went somewhere else to try and fight? Wasn't it the
California State Athletic Commission? Yeah.
Yeah, see, so it's like here in California, they don't mess around with that stuff, dude. And it's right. I mean, what is it? I think his name is Andy Foster. He knows what this is about. It's about the safety of other fighters. I mean, let's think back to that fight. Jon Jones kicked DC in the head and then laid some nasty punches on him. Punches that, his head wasn't bouncing. It was just straight up against the canvas. It was just direct damage to the brain. I mean, imagine, the extra force that somebody that's all roided out or whatever, that has that extra punch, in their system because of whatever they took. That's something that needs to be, talked about and put away forever from the sport. But I think what's more than likely going to happen is we're probably going to see like a minimum ban, maybe like a 2-year, 3-year ban. They're going to fight this. They're going to contest this all the way. And I think we're just going to see Jon Jones back in the octagon in a couple years, man. I don't see this going too much worse than that for him, because this guy gets a lot of chances. But, I think if Andy Foster really wants to put his foot down, I think we might see some big trouble for Jon Jones. I just don't think it's going to happen that way. But my other question is, does this also hurt his criminal stuff? Because isn't that kind of an illegal substance to have at all?
I never thought about that. Anybody know?
I know that.
No idea.
I know that some people have been throwing around the possibility of him getting charged with like assault, because they're about thinking that one of the guys was clean, and that's the whole rabbit hole, legal wise. But there's been a bunch of shit thrown around on Twitter and whatnot.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. All right, Fred, let me put you in a different spot here. You're on the California State Athletic Commission. You have a say. You have a heavy vote on what happens to Jon Jones. What do you do?
I'd give him the 4 years. I wouldn't ban him completely because, like, I mean, listen, 4 years is damn near a lifetime ban. I mean, 4 years is such a long time. He was only gone for what, like a year and a half, 2 years this last go round?
Right.
And look how long that felt. Double that? 4 years? DC won't even be fighting 4 years from now. Anderson Silva will be doing Dancing with the Stars. He'll have a bad hip. Fucking Nick Diaz will be doing the Joe Rogan podcast as a regular. I mean, life will look completely different 4 years from now. 4 years is an eternity. And you know, if he does come back to the UFC, listen, this changes everything. It's not like last time. When he does come back, if he comes back 3-4 years from now, he's going to be on the bottom. He ain't going to be fighting for no fucking belts. Like, this, it's different now. I truly believe that. I don't think that, like last time, I heard people saying we're ready to move on without Jon Jones. I wasn't. I think a lot of MMA fans felt like me, like, nah, dog, I don't think that's Jon Jones's belt no more. I thought it was before. I really did. I thought, you know, DC didn't beat Jon. They were just dick pills. I was in denial, man. I'm a Jon Jones fan. I bought into the hype. I thought he was the greatest. I gave him a pass. It's not the case. You know, it's not the case. It is what it is.
I never thought I'd hear Fred here so emotionally distraught over one pair of news, but man, Jon Jones managed to do it.
Well, I mean, it is a bummer, man. If it had been anybody else, it wouldn't have been so hard to take. But this is the guy, right? Like, dog, when I'm trying to fucking introduce somebody to MMA or like one of my friends that don't know much about it or some shit, Jon Jones is the guy. Well, on the lead up to the DC fight, I had a couple friends that weren't really hip to MMA like that. So I got to kind of, you know, they didn't know who the fuck Jon Jones was. So I explained to them who he was and why he's so special and important, man. You know, he was like the real Floyd Mayweather. We compare him to Ali, but he was undefeated against animals. I mean, this is fucking devastating for MMA. People always talk about, if Conor gets knocked out, do you think it'll be bad for MMA?
No.
What are you, a douchebag? They're boxing, you fucking idiot loser. Ass fuck shitbird. No. If Conor gets knocked out by Floyd in a boxing match, it don't mean fuck all to MMA. It's boxing, not MMA. This means everything to MMA. This is our guy being proven as a fucking phony.
Does he?
The thing I'm noticing here from pretty much you go on Twitter, you go everywhere, man. Everybody's having this visceral reaction. And I think we kind of had this like hope, right? That like our stars don't get put through this, right? Like when Ronda Rousey was fighting, what was it after every single fight? You know, a lot of people would say, God, I hope she never tests positive for something, right? Because she was like that hope, you know. Conor, when he was on his run, people were talking about, oh, I hope he never pops for anything, because if he does, you know, I really see like now how much Jon Jones really was a cornerstone of UFC, of MMA, because you see how much like people are reacting to this and how hurt people are, you know. I really just don't care because of the fact that we kind of always knew Jon Jones was a little shady. I was really impressed with how mature he acted after the fight. And, you know, leading up to the fight, he was very confident. And it almost seems like you kind of realize, okay, I understand why he was so confident, why he knew he was going to knock out DC, why this and that, right? Like you go back and you start looking at things differently. That doesn't mean that that's probably the case. It might be the case, but you know, even after all that, you see just how much people like were attached to this guy. Even people that hated him, you know, they come out now and they're just like so devastated that this guy, this greatest of all time, is actually a legit cheater. And you know, now you call into question everything.
Yeah, this just, you know, like earlier, back to your point earlier, Jesse, about your kids. We both have kids and shit, but I tell you what, man, I don't feel like that. I disagree with you to that point. I don't give a fuck about what kind of a guy Jon Jones is. I don't care if he cheats on his wife. I don't care that he does cocaine or smokes pot or drinks or whatever. That's none of my business. I'm a fan of MMA. So I'm a fan of what he does in that cage. Now, when you start cheating in that cage, that fucking rubs me the wrong way. That's fucking not okay, man. That's a major fucking issue, and it sullies the fucking good name of our whole fucking sport, low key. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you what, dog. Everybody gave Ronda Rousey so much shit. Big ups to Ronda for not being a fucking cheater, for not being like, you know what? I'll bet you I can beat Holly if I fucking go shoot a little steroid in my cunt. Big ups, dog. You lost. You fucking took. You rode off into the sunset. Good on you. Big ups to motherfucking Nate Diaz, to all the guys out there, for the record, that have never tested positive and that we all can kind of 100% agree on by the eye test and everything that they never did cheat. Big ups, man. Michael Bisping, you cockeyed prick. I can't stand you. But big ups, dog. I don't think you've ever actually cheated. And those motherfuckers deserve the credit. They really do, man. If you never got caught cheating and you actually did this thing right with all these fuckers that was cheating and not getting caught, you're a bad motherfucker and you deserve your credit, man.
All right, Tony, here's a good question here that Raider just put on the live chat. She says, what about Hall of Fame? Do you think he'll be there? He'll make it there if they don't throw down a lifetime ban? Again, the asterisk attached.
The UFC Hall of Fame?
Yeah. I mean, there's no MMA Hall of Fame yet. That should be coming at some point. But the UFC Hall of Fame.
Well, I mean, if he does get the full for it happening, because, I mean, he would have to come back to the UFC and accomplish some things, and I think that would be very hard for him to do. I mean, like Kirby was saying, 4 years is a fucking long time. Like, who knows? I mean, and you know, I really do hope the best for Jon Jones and everything. Like, I'm not wishing, you know, that something awful happens to him, but the guy in the past that he does dumb shit. So 4 years of him, you know, not having fights and just, you know, probably partying or doing other things. Who knows what he'll be up to in those 4 years? Something could happen. He could do some dumb shit. So I think if he does get the full 4 years, gets into the Hall of Fame, if he somehow manages to get his way out of this, then it's more like, even if he gets to 2 years, I think it's more likely. But at 4 years, I can't see it.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame looks, I mean, if they let him in, you know, once he comes back without doing some really big things, you know, once he comes back, I'm with you. I just don't see him bringing him in. And
you'd have to be like a 2-division champ or some shit.
Right.
You have to have the light heavyweight and the heavyweight belt and like wreck shop.
Yeah. And then Raider says it makes MMA look bad. And dude, I would have been pissed if I bought a ticket at 214, just like I did for UFC 200. Yeah, a lot of people were probably a little pissed about that. All right. And the comments are already heading that way. So to our next topic. So Fred, anything else you want to throw down on this?
No, that's it, man. I mean, it's a legit bummer, man. I mean, of all the people that we could get found to be a cheater, Jon Jones is probably one of the worst case scenarios, man. It really does kind of taint the whole fucking sport to a degree. I mean, like I said, there are a lot of fighters out there that aren't cheating, so they deserve the credit. You know, not everybody's a cheater, but make no mistake about it, this is a bummer, and this was an L for MMA. Like I said, man, this talk, you know, we're about to get into the whole Conor Floyd thing, and this is some fun stuff, man. You know, we got the prudes amongst us that don't like it, but other than that, at the very least, this is all fun and exciting. This shit that just happened with Jon Jones is neither fun nor exciting. And, you know, not to be a fucking Debbie Downer, it ain't like fucking we're about to get nuked by North Korea. It isn't a major deal in the grand fucking scheme of things. But if you're a hardcore MMA fan and you really fucking love the sport, man, it's a bummer, dude. Our Ali just got caught as a fraud in the prime of his career. It's a bummer.